What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 36 of Light of the Asur, our attempts to stabilize the Great Vortex and basically save the world. But more than that, this is the 100th episode going up for Thorium Gaming in general. So before we jump into all we're going to be doing this week, to all of you who have supported me thus far, all you guys who have been reposting everything on Facebook, and following the videos on YouTube, all that sort of stuff, and for everyone else who joins in the future, thank you. It's been an amazing ride, and I never expected to have anyone basically plug in this sort of stuff, but I have a very, very, very awesome group of people who have got my back, and really, it's you guys that I do this for. So I can't really say it better than just thank you. You guys are awesome. You're fantastic. So, it's the 100th episode, and hopefully we don't die horribly. But it's probably a good thing that we're on to the big episode right now, because, well, there's these guys. That's right, our last Chaos Invasion force is coming in. They've sacked a couple of cities, the Lizardmen sent something out and blew up the Glittering Tower, and right now we are currently looking at getting our troops from inside the Inner Sea down to Ulthuan. Because guess what? We've only got to hold out for 19 turns, and it's game over, man, game over, High Elven victory. At least I hope that's how it's going to go. I've never actually completed the Vortex campaign before, so we're going to see. So let's start off by going into Latania, who for some reason doesn't have the speed of Azeron yet. She was one of our inherited generals, so that kind of makes sense. But Phoenix, we are going to set you into a march stance, and we're going to get you going way down south towards Ulthuan. So it looks like that's the area they're going to come in from. Now, I haven't seen too many sails on the ocean that are going to cause us too many problems. But Fady and the good chaplain have got to get their butts back to Ulthuan as quickly as elvenly possible. So we're going to need their forces here pretty quick too. Now, out of the forces that are here, we're going to leave Sunshine to defend Eversail. And Sheena can handle theirs. So Vincat, we're going to get you to go into a march stance too. And get you to book it down with Phoenix and try to get back to Ulthuan as quickly as possible. While there's only a few army stacks coming in, and they're all Skaven, they're rather veteran, and they have a lot of scary stuff. I believe Ulthuan is going to be the flashpoint for most of this. So if we can hold off here, we're good. Now this Lizardmen intervention force, not so worried about them. With the Glittering Tower's defenses, we bloodied them pretty badly, wiped out a couple of units, and as you guys can see, their skinks did not fare too well. So if they attack Ulthuan, well, we have dragons and dragon princes. And of course I'm sitting there with a dragon and dragon princes. So we're going to have a ton of cavalry that will be able to ride down everything but the Saurus spears. Not too worried about that. Now we could upgrade Calidor, but I don't want to leave us deprived of funds, so we're not going to upgrade any settlement really. And of course the Chill Road's going to have a rebellion. I don't know how long that these guys are going to siege Grand, but in the grand scheme, it doesn't really matter. We've got to focus on holding our 3 cities. That's the key right now. So we'll divert 2 armies down, and then the 2 armies that are on the ocean will try and book it on land and get down there too. There are a lot of hostile factions over here now because we kind of screwed up this area, taking over little places and then letting them fall to rebellion. But for the most part, it's just those 3 cities. Ironically, Ulthuan, the capital of the High Elven Realm, Gaen Vale, its spiritual center, and Tor Ilir, which is basically home to all Illyrians. So, places that we want to hold on to for their own sake, not just because they are part of the ritual. So, let's see how the other nations handle it. And of course, I keep forgetting that we have an Elven scouting force down there. Just a little bit of experience and some gold for us. He's going to be out of the fighting for a fairly long time. Now the other nations, they have pretty much guaranteed that they're either going to complete their ritual or are in a position where they can complete their ritual. The best thing for us right now would be to have the Order of Lore Masters get involved in this fight and take on some of those ratmen forces. They have been moving that army stack with Girithon down a little bit further. So who knows, they might get involved in this fight. They are allied to us, and Teclis, well, he's the weird brother of Tyrion. He might actually pull through and help us out a lot. Suffice to say, it doesn't really matter at this point. It won't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And since we did not have the Queen and the Crone DLC when we first started this, we only have me as a legendary lord on our side right now. Had it gone a different way when we confederated with Avalorn and with Nagaryth, we would have got the Shadow King, Aelith Nar, and the Everqueen. Incidentally, in the campaigns now that the Everqueen is out, holy crap is she powerful. She is by far one of the best support lords, hands down, and just rocks face. She's great. And then when you combine her with her handmaidens and all of that sort of stuff, the Everqueen does boast a fair amount of power. It is kind of contingent on how much chaos corruption is in your structures, though. So, well, not your structures, your provinces. So you got to be kind of careful watching your chaos corruption as it goes along. Now, are those last defenders going to come up to Ulthuan and try to fight us? Because if so, that kind of opens up a new front on the war. I mean, we do have two very, very experienced generals coming back to Ulthuan. We'll see how it goes. Of course, the Black Arcs are still being the Black Arcs. I don't really know what the computer plans on doing with them half the time. I think Malekith is just like, go be scary on the ocean, and we'll see how it goes. But while we have the moment too, just want to wish my father another birthday greeting. He's 55 now, technically a senior citizen in some places, and he's probably going to hit me for that. But I probably deserve it. And now we have a Dark Elf intervention, and they're just going to ravage the countryside. That's not a very powerful one, though. A lot of Dark Riders. And we could go into this fight, but there's really no chance we're going to win it. So let's just let what's going to happen, happen. Every other building is inconsequential. And with them attacking Lothern, we're going to get a big fight as soon as it comes back around to our turn. Because we can't have Lothern sieged. I do want to see what the Skaven forces are doing, since they are the corruption that's out there. Depending on how intense they get. Well, they're still in March stance, which means we shouldn't have to fight them off too much. And the city whose name I cannot pronounce, I've never been able to pronounce anyway, it's sacrificial. Everything at this point is sacrificial except for those three cities. So, if we can catch one of those armies out on the field while it's in march stance, that would go a long way to helping us out. And I'm kind of more worried about that Warlord's army. Doomwheel and a Plague Claw Catapult? Well, I guess Alchemist Spark has the same thing. Yeah. Kind of hard to tell with the Skaven sometimes. I mean, their war machines are weird and wacky. You know what? We're just going to let it play out. Zoltar, you did your thing. Hurt their forces. We don't need Grond anymore. But now we are severely in the red. But we'll start off with Eolair, and we'll give him Route Marcher since he's going to be out on the ocean. Probably for the rest of this adventure. And Fëanor, one of our mages, has an extra point, so we'll toss it in there. And if it sounds like I'm freaking out in the real world a little bit, there's a fly in the room right now, and it's driving me batty. So, I'm not crazier than normal, I'm just crazier than normal. So all of our extra little heroes here, we're going to boost up a little bit. Vincat, we're going to try and get you close. Now, if we switch you back to regular stance, I don't think we can engage that Druchii force. We'll have you go over to the shore, come down and deal with that Dark Elf intervention, because your army stack is fairly decent, experienced. Now, the good chaplain, we need to get you onto Ulthuan. Same with Fady. Sooner we get them back down to the southern reaches, the better off we're going to be. Now, for this particular point, this is going to be a fight.
Kill them. There is glory,
which is completely outside of the range that we normally fight. So we'll just let them take care of it. Force the labor. Destroy the Lizardmen intervention force.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
I was kind of hoping that would have been more of a straight up fight than outside of the range that we've set for it. Let's give Tyrion myself Woundmaker.
Their skill is legendary.
And we have a light mage who's leveled up, so let's put her on a horse. Definitely helps there. So now we're back into the black for everything that we're doing. Is there any force out here that we don't really need? She's in camp stance. So what we could do, let's just take all of your forces, drop them in there. Oops. That was the wrong click. And we'll just disband Felindre. She did a lot of good job, but Latania is the better hero overall. She was a leader of a faction. Felindre's not so much. She's actually in the fluff, so not too worried about it. But that'll give us a little bit more wiggle room, and we are going to lose a couple more cities, more than likely. And when that happens, well, that happens. But what we should probably try to do is go to the Order of Lore Masters and see if we can confederate with them. If they accept it, which they didn't this time, but I think we have some influence. We have a fair amount of influence, actually. Let's just bump it up, and we'll try again next turn, because if we get them on board, that takes care of all our financial issues. We'll have a couple army stacks behind the Skaven lines that we can kind of slot in and attack with. My big thing now is these little armies here need to all start getting ready to fight. We're not going to upgrade any settlements. We can't afford our treasury to go any lower. So let's let the other nations take over. Now, we only have one turn left on our research, so I don't know what we're going to go after next. We're not going to have too long. We do have 19 turns left in the camp. Well, 18 now. Turns left for sure. Because, well, it's how it's going to have to work out. There's the whole timing on the ritual, and until it's done, we can't claim victory. But with the Lizardmen coming in from the south, the Dark Elves sending intervention forces, and whatever the Lore Masters are doing, we're not exactly 100% stable. But given that there are a ton of Skaven coming towards Lothern, I really, really do want to try and catch them on an open field. Dragon Princes are nasty pieces of work when they are allowed to run down weaker infantry. This is true for the tabletop and for this game in general. If you can catch Skaven slaves, even Skaven spearmen with shields out on an open field with Dragon Princes from the flank, well, the Dragon Princes kind of chew through them. Now, I am heavily biased when it comes to the different faction units from the High Elves. Kalador is kind of my favorite realm in the entire backstory, and they're famous for their Dragon Princes, so I am biased. But don't get me wrong, the Shadow Warriors are amazing. Aelithanar proves that. The Maiden Guard, I'm kind of hit or miss on. They're really good in this. Their incarnation in the tabletop, if I'm remembering it correctly, because I never really saw them in the army books. They're underwhelming. White Lions of Shrace and the Phoenix Guard are amazing. Well, Phoenix Guard in general are just amazing. They cause terror because they don't say a word. And the White Lions are just, they're the unit that you send in to, like, meat grinder things until your Dragon Princes hit them in the flank. The Illyrian Reavers and the Chariots are, they're okay. I mean, they're not my go-to choice for a lot of stuff. But if I had the extra points left over in an army list, I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to take a Chariot, or I'm going to take a minor unit of Illyrian Reavers. They're lightweight, they're fast, they're really good at flanking the enemy. But they don't last too long in protracted combat. They're kind of a hit and fade style unit. They are skirmishers, so there is that. It's actually kind of cool how much variety Games Workshop created with all of their different races, given your typical cavalry, infantry, and archer archetypes for troop choices. The cavalry from the Bretonnians, for example, is different from every other piece of cavalry in the game. Just straight up. But even the smaller choices like Empire Halberdiers are completely different tactically to High Elven Spearmen. Most notably that Halberdiers require 2 hands, so you don't really get the shield bonus. But you can also equip them with a hand weapon and shield and swap to it. It's a turn-by-turn combat thing. And yes, my chair is still squeaky. But even the ranged units are slightly different. Dwarven Quarrelers and Thunderers... Well, Thunderers are... I can talk, I swear. Thunderers are a prime example because even though they are functionally similar or identical to Empire handgunners, they're completely different in how they work out. Dwarves are a little bit more accurate, a lot sterner, meaning they have a lot better leadership. And it's hard to break dwarves on the tabletop, to be honest. They're kind of like the Space Marines from the 40k universe, only short. They're short Marines. Though there are space dwarves called stunties, but they were kind of phased out a while ago. Anyway, what I'm saying is they have elite units that are tough to break, and it takes a long time for you to settle up with them. If you get into a protracted combat with dwarves, odds are the dwarves are going to wear you down over time just by sheer weight of numbers and, well, not weight of numbers, weight of armor, and the fact that their guys don't break.
Ulthuan have long memories.
Alright, so they want a peace treaty. You know what? I'm okay with declaring a peace treaty with the Hmong. Because, well, anyone that's not trying to kill us right now is probably a good thing. And we're going to lose the Shrine of Loic. But we have been pretty much expecting to lose a lot of things. This will probably be Karen Thal going down. And if he moves full bore out here, that they might be split up enough for us to start picking them off one by one. If we can do that, it would be fantastic. Now we do have to worry they are still Skaven armies. Like they're 100% Skaven armies. So whenever they engage in combat, there's a chance they could start an ambush fight. And in that case, we are at a severe disadvantage. Skaven are masters of ambush, so we have to be worried about it. Alright, so we're back to losing a lot of money because Lothern's under siege, but we'll take the reputation with the lore masters. So, before we do anything else, let's go into our attack. You know it's going to be a few more turns. What's something that's pretty quick that we use a lot of? Well, we'll go Shredding Talons. That'll help us out a little bit. Now into the diplomacy, and we'll see if we can get... They want us to join war against the Top Knots. If it helps us get you on board in the next couple of turns, I'm okay with it. So Eolair, we don't know exactly what you're going to be doing for the rest of the campaign, aside from being on a boat and going fast. Okay, that was a bad reference, but still, it's true. I'm betting that this Skaven army is a lot tougher. They have Help Hit Abominations, Storm Vermin. This was an expensive one.
Bring me battle.
So we're going to go in and fight this one. And with any luck, it won't blow up in our faces. It very well might, but hopefully it doesn't. Plague Monks, Storm Vermin, Assassins, Help Hit Abominations, Rat Ogres, and a Doom Wheel. Alright, so we've got reinforcements coming from behind them. Let's gamble on 17. I'm okay with gambling on 17. Alright, so let's start the deployment. So what this is going to come down to is our units winning one-on-one. So that's how I view it anyway. So let's start getting organized for how we're going to take this on. I kind of want to pinch them as tightly as I can and link up with our other forces as much as possible. So this looks like the closest section on the line. So put our Phoenix Guard in there. Put our Swordmasters next to them. Put our Spears. Oh, those are the Swordmasters again. I have to click off. So we'll swap sides. I'm okay with that. As for the Dragon Princes, though, they're going to come all the way over here. I'm going to try and hit some things in the flank. Our Eagle Claws are going to go up on this hill. The Dragon's going to go over with the Dragon Princes, and I'm going to sit here with our archers behind the front line. So now let's take a look at where everything is. Rat Ogres are up front, Plague Monks, Censer Bearers, Storm Vermin. It's definitely not going to be a pretty fight. So let's get our Dragon Princes moving. And our Dragon, we can send over to breathe on the Storm Vermin. And there's our reinforcements showing up from behind. So it looks like they're kind of splitting up a bit. So with our spearmen down there, let's divide them into groups of 2 and see if we can get our guys going where we need them to. And our catapults are just out of range. Essentially, though, it's going to come down to trying to beat these guys one-on-one. Or, as the case may be, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. However it works out. Now, they do have a lot of large stuff, but the White Lions get bonuses versus large. These Dragon Princes can come down here. As soon as the other dragon shows up. You two are going to go after that, and our dragon up here is going to go help you with the Doom Wheel. We're going to get you, our bolt thrower, to just start shooting. And all of the Lothern Sea Guard. Oh, there's another unit of Dragon Princes down there.
Loyal. To battle. At once. It will be done. Swordmaster of Perth.
Alright, let's see if we can get this noble up and into the fight. And this mage, we're going to cast early, cast often.
Winds of magic rise.
I am currently engaged with Plague Monks. Things have gotten really hectic already.
Dragon Princes. Full fun. Quickly now. Moving out. Kill them.
Looks like we're doing pretty good overall, though.
Spellcaster.
Pull back. Northern Sea Guard.
Swap these guys over to melee. Get them in on those death runners.
Orders received. Asur attack.
The greater good.
For Assyrian.
Alright, so we routed one unit up there. These spearmen are kind of throwing their lot in against the Death Runners. We're winning the fight in the woods there.
Orders received.
Move our archers up. I hate it when our reinforcements are behind us.
Move. We advance. Attack. Asurian willing. Loyal.
Let's just
Seal!
cram down on their lord and see if we can eliminate him. So that is the weakness of most Skaven forces, is that their leadership sucks. Let's actually grab one unit of these dragon princes.
Forward.
Send him off after that.
For the king.
Send the other unit off after these poison wing globuladiers.
Dragon princes. Loven Seaguard.
This is going a whole lot better than I was assuming it would.
Swordmaster of poets. Spearmen. Kill them.
Alright, I'm going to get up into this fight so that things aren't going weird. And we do have several flyers that we're going to try and come back in and destroy these Hell Pit abominations. We're going to try and run down as many of these ratmen as we can, especially if we have a chance to kill their leader. Because we want to completely destroy this army, not just weaken it. Gotta say, the Doom Bell is pretty awesome. Creative Assembly really did a good job with all the character models for everything they did. And with the enemy lord wounded, we can end the battle there. Went fairly well for us. I mean, they deployed 1337. They deployed elite troops. I don't know why I still find that funny. We lost 375 elves, which is still way too many. But we lost more than they have remaining. And that should be the end of the intervention force. Or it's just so weak I can sally forth and destroy it in one turn.
Tyrion, heir of an Aryan.
Alright, so I got a level. Let's see, what do we want to put it into? Put another point into Woundmaker. Make it even more deadly.
Defender of the Phoenix throne.
Alright, so Phoenix is going to come down.
Defender of the Everqueen.
Now, it's kind of a tough choice. Vincat does not have elite troops in the slightest. So let's see if we can get you down close to Lothern.
Sailing away.
That way, if battle does come to you, you're right tight with Lothern.
Tyrion, pull back.
Alright, our dragon got hurt a little bit, but fighting that same Skaven intervention force without their leader would have been terrible. So now that's got that covered. Vincat's down, Phoenix is coming down.
How can I assist? Traveling.
Chaplain and Fady need to triple time it to get back. We're still losing cash though. Probably because we have lost a fair amount of cities. Not the end of the world. We have fairly decent treasuries built up. And the way the Skaven are coming in, they're being funneled directly into what is essentially a kill zone. Especially if they keep splitting up like this. Should be good. Should be good. But just to offset it a little bit, because we don't know if... Warband of the Hound is over there. You can upgrade a couple of these places to have a little bit more income. We'll offset it just a bit. Not a whole lot, but enough. The one place I don't really want to risk losing is the Shrine of Azeran. So, in fact, what I think we're going to do is, Sunshine, you're going to book it down and go into the shrine when you're able to. Alright, let's see what the other nations do. Hey, go Techless. Dealing the Druki some hurt while they're at it. Be nice if you would catch one of those ratmen armies and deal with it for us. Unless they're being complete elven douchebags and just recolonizing every city we lose, which I could totally see Techless doing, to be honest. But if we confederate with them soon enough, then it's not too bad a thing. We'll get a bunch of cities back after Techless spent the money to refound them. Still blows me away that Kothiek confederated with them. Well, that's how it works out sometimes. I am interested to see what the Dark Elf Intervention Force, not High Elf, what they do on their round, because they're in a pretty unique place. Now granted, all we have to do is weather this storm. Fight and win for the next few turns, and we're good. Kind of curious, are they going to come over and start fighting, or are they just kind of being weird lizardy creatures? And Hexawaddle failed their ritual. So did the Rothi. I said that really weird. But Nagaroth and Hexawaddle failed their rituals, so that gives us a lot more breathing room. Why they wouldn't just take Otek's column back is beyond me, but that delays them a little bit and puts us in line to definitely complete this one. The only one that's really active still is Clan Pestilence. And of course you know how the ratmen can be. Unpredictable. Kind of weird. But even if they complete their ritual this turn, it's not going to allow them to catch up to us. So it's the intervention force's turn. If they engage our guy, oh, they're going to engage Lothern, which is way better for us than them fighting us on the field. Now they've pretty much set themselves up. They're a weak intervention force as is. But they've set themselves up now to a point where it's, okay, you're now taking on our capital that has my stack in it, the capital's defensive stack, and another general's stack. It's not looking good for that intervention force. It's probably going to put us into the red for cash flow, or more into the red. But we'll deal with that as it comes. And again, if the ratmen stay this far separated, then we can probably deal with them individually. But now they're grouped back up. Which means we really need Chaplain Grimaldus and Fadelace to get back onto the inner side. Might have to send them up towards the Game Vale, depending on how these ratmen spread out. or if they come straight at us. So Hexoatl failed the ritual, Lothern's besieged, and we have no money. That's not really that big of an issue. As soon as we do this...
Ulthuan, I am ready to fight. My strength.
And we are back into the positives. Granted, our forces have taken a little bit of a beating over the last little bit. Alright, so we can't really...
Foolish thing. No.
Okay, so they got plague sensors, storm vermin with swords and shields, plague monks, clan rats, gutter runners, rat ogres. Only one hell pit in that one.
Ulthuan triumphant.
Alchemic spark. He's got rat ogres and more war machines.
The council is disappointed.
That's a lot of ratmen, but there's a lot of really weak clan rat units in it.
Defender of the Phoenix throne. What new?
And I know it weakens Phoenix himself just a little bit, but by colonizing,
Promising lieutenant.
we are able to kind of build back up what we're doing.
How can I assist you?
Now, Chaplain, we're going to need you guys down here as quick as elvenly possible. Two nations up north can't really handle it, and these guys are raiding, which is terrible for us. It's all going to come down to whether or not we can outlast everything monetarily. If they siege or sack much more, then we might be in a bad position, but we're going to see if we can get the Order of Lore Masters.
Let's discuss terms in a civil. Consider it done.
You know what? I'll take their help against the last defenders, but while we're thinking about it, let's drop some more influence into them and see what can happen there. Wonder if we can get them to go to war with the unknown Skaven clan. Let's find out while we're here.
Greetings. Let us discuss terms in a civil manner befitting our people.
Does not look like we can get them to intervene on the factions that we need them to, so that's fine.
Defender of the Phoenix.
Now, Vincat, we're going to get you to go into a camp stance. Bring up your defense a little bit. We might lose Injurial, and they might start heading towards the Inner Sea, in which case we're going to have to hunt them down. The furthest range we can go out is pretty pathetic, all things considered. But if we have to do a quick transfer of these guys through, back up to the north, I don't think these guys go to the ocean, so they'll have to go around the long way, whereas we can just jump into the water and go up to the Gain Vale. So we'll see how that ends up turning out. Normally this would be the point where we'd be calling it a week, but it is a double long episode, so there's still lots more to go. So let's see what we can do. I mean, we can't really do much more this turn. We don't want to expose any decent army stack to that kind of pain, but we do have to keep pushing on. 16 more turns. Oh crud, the Pestilence clan is right behind us on the ritual. I guess they completed it last episode? Yeah, probably, which gave them a giant boost. They're now teetering on the edge of doing it. So let's see what these ratmen do this time. I guess I probably should have considered moving the rest of the generals. If I can isolate any one of those armies, we stand a very, very good chance of beating them one-on-one. Or even just wounding the armies to the point where the garrisons at the Gain Vale, Toraleer, and Lothern can handle them on their own. At this point, it's less about hanging on to everything and more about costing the enemy for every inch of ground it takes. And if we're able to confederate with the Lore Masters pretty quick here, then we should be good. Not too sure what Teclis's plan right now is, but he's always enigmatic, so we'll let him be odd. He's got a unit of Shadow Warriors. Yeah, that's probably a wise idea there. You won against Val's Anvil the first time, but with that army stacking there, I think that's actually Marathi. Not really much chance that you got. Granted, the Lore Masters have a lot to do on turns now, which is slightly odd. But they are pretty huge. Here's one thing I like about the Total War games in general, is you can play the same faction 100 times and no two games will ever come out the same. Basically, it's infinite enjoyment. Especially if you like the setting that the Total War game happens to be in. In this case, I absolutely love the setting, so there's a reason why I've got close to 1,000 hours at this point put into it. I think it's 1,000 hours. And I haven't actually checked my Steam profile to see how much of my life has been stolen, drained, and otherwise absconded with by this game. Not that I regret any second of it. Just, I tend to lose myself in the Total War franchise, because, well, Shogun 2, Total War 2, or like Medieval 2, and Rome, the original, not the newer one, they were all fun. But this kind of just gripped me. And when Three Kingdoms comes out, if I disappear for a while, generally around when Three Kingdoms comes out, you guys know why. Because I'm probably binging that more hard than anything ever in history. I'm really, really hoping it's more Romance of the Three Kingdoms than Dynasty Warriors, but we'll see. I'd love it if Techno Koei or whoever is doing the console versions of everything right now, or the English releases of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms games, would hurry up and put 13 on an English translation and get it done, because that would be fantastic. Excuse me. And it looks like the ratmen are kind of bypassing things. There's no way we can win that. Losing cities kind of sucks, but we can probably send these guys out now to... Ooh, there we go. The Unknown Skaven clan, in March stance, has come within eyesight of Lothern. So that's one of their army stacks that's definitely going to go down. And that one, Phoenix might be able to take out on his own. They've split up pretty decently. We're losing a little bit of money, but that's okay. So Maya just leveled up, and we're going to get her evasion, because that really helps. She's up with Latania now. First things first.
Where to?
Oh yes. This is going to be a devastating blow to the ratmen. We're going to go in and fight this one out. Nothing like them moving way too close to way too many elves that are way too pointy ear angry. Yeah, that's what I'm going with, is pointy ear angry. Now, all of our reinforcements are coming directly behind us, I think. I don't see any other arrows. I think we're going to start with 19, because 19's not bad.
Swordmaster of Hoeth, Spearman, loyal.
Now this time in, we have to be a lot more careful with how we do things. Our dragon is wounded, so we don't want him getting hit too much. Dragon Princes have nice, clean, open ground to deal with. Let's put the Phoenix Guard where they belong, right at the center of the line. We'll let our spearmen take the higher ground up here. We're going to be advancing right off the bat anyway, so it's not too big a deal. And we'll keep our archers spread out. I'll go there. So that looks pretty good for this setup.
obey. Acknowledged. It shall be done. It will be done.
Alright, so let's just pause quickly now that everything's on the map. Let's group up all of our sword masters. Send them up into position. Add that unit of Phoenix Guard to the other. Send them up. White Lions, we'll group them together and put them up here, because that's probably a good place for them. Add that unit to our Dragon Prince's unit. They're sending Plague Monks down that way, so it's not bad, but it's not good. We missed a unit of Sword Masters, which is a little off. There we go. That looks better. And then we'll have our Lothern Sea Guard form a second unit of archers, but they're going to go up closer on this hill, and our regular ones are going to sit somewhere in here. Now Vincat, you're going to come up into the center, along with me. Gaon, you're going to go there. That's the garrison one. And we're going to send our dragon over to this side. Let's let our forces start moving towards position to see what we can do. And there's even more reinforcements showing up. A ton more reinforcements. So let's group all of the Dragon Princes and send them off to the extreme flank. Do have another Eagle Claw that we can just set up right here. Where do we put those Great Eagles? We can put the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower in that group, but it's still moving. The Great Eagles we're going to group up with our Dragon. Send them on a nice little flanking mission. So I know exactly what they're going to do. It's okay if we take a little bit of artillery damage right now. These forces,
As you say.
in all their minutia, you're going to come up and support this flank. A big Papa Dragon is going to come in and breathe on the catapults.
Dragon Princess. Battle calls.
Now we're going to pull our dragon out of there. He's breathed. We'll send the Great Eagles in to finish off those Plague Claws. I know our dragon's getting pretty beat up, and it's not a situation I'd necessarily like them to be in, but taking out their artillery is kind of paramount at this point. Break the artillery, and they no longer have the ranged forces necessary to deal with us in any significant fashion. Now we can advance these Dragon Princes. Let's actually get them to charge those Rat Ogres.
We will obey.
Those Plague Monks routing, let's pull our Princes over there back. And have the Dragon come in and breathe. You guys can go in and finish off that artillery. Alright, so our Phoenix Guard are the center of our line. The ratmen are kind of just sticking back there, not doing a whole lot. These Dragon Princes are going to come over. See what we can do about these units that are down here. And our big unit of Sword Masters. You guys are going to go take on that Hell Pit. Meanwhile, you White Lions are going to go into those Storm Vermin. All you elves down this edge of the line are going to come in and take on these Plague Monks.
Will be done. Noble.
And Sunfang is going to get in on this fight.
Very well. As you said.
Let's actually have you guys go after them. You guys charge in to help out our embattled eagles.
Swordmaster of Hoeth.
Let's use that center of Phoenix Guard to advance up and see what we can do damage-wise. Now it's just to manage, or I don't know the word, but it's managing our forces that's going to really come down to the victory here. The Skaven are getting pretty much owned 1v1 all over the map, and that's what we wanted. I don't really want to risk our dragon in a direct fight, but I'm going to go down and finish their lord. Actually, you know what, Vincat? Let's go, me and you.
Loyal. Dragon princes.
Alright, so most of their army has been routed, and there we go. Could continue on, but I don't want to waste any more elven lives, especially when we're going to need them later on. So let's just let that army stack die. I keep dropping things. They got hit extremely hard.
Very well.
That takes care of one of the major threats to the island.
Heir of an Aryan. Garrisoning.
Now, if we can get this army stack that's over there to come on and try to have some fun with us, that would be great. We want to go towards... Oh, they're poison slingers. Kind of curious there for a sec. We want Typhus Rat to go towards Lothern. That's what we want and need. Phoenix, you're going to hold position there.
Can I offer assistance?
Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky.
Will is done.
Chaplain Grimaldus, we're going to get to fly up that direction. Fadey's going to head towards Lothern itself. And Sunshine's going to come down towards what's left of Angerial. Now, since they're all broken up and split up, we should be okay, and we do have garrison forces in the Gain Vale and Tor-Elir, which definitely helps us out. We're losing a fair bit of gold per turn. Is there any way we can drop that a bit? I don't really like the Swordmaster heroes as much, so you know what? Let's take Enthal, since he was one of the ones that we inherited. Drop him out of the picture. What is Tor-Elir's garrison like? Lots of white lions. So, we can drop these 2 units of spearmen. Try to get us back towards the green end of things.
Wise indeed.
Ingmir. It's not too bad of a situation. Might as well try to confederate with them again. Alright, so Teclis is still being Teclis. Not being overtly cool or anything. Now, we don't really have much to do up there, but let's pop down to Eolair and see what he's up to.
Protector of Ulthuan.
There's another 5 grand. That should help keep us on track for a long time. And where is that last defenders unit? I don't know where they're going to make landfall, but overall, not too worried about them. Right now, it's all about this little intersection here. So let's see what the rats do on their next go. Hopefully they will be as stupid as we hope ratmen can be, and go to the places where we can pick them off. If they do that, we're in the running. Of course, first we have to let Teclis do his thing. And if we manage to defeat this invasion pretty quickly, we'll probably go to war with a few of the chaps on the Southlands, unless it automatically ends if we completely destroy the invasion force. I don't think it would, but if it does, well, that's cool. If not, we're gonna try and make sure that we expand while we're waiting. We're very close to going on to our Mortal Empires campaign, and that should be a lot of fun. I'm still not sure if I want to go with the Bretonnians or what. Bretonnians are my favorite fluff race. I've said that several times during the series, but they're very, very finicky to play. The peasant economy is really hard to manage at times, and it's very, very heavily dependent on your characters being total and utter monsters. So we might do that because there are male and female Bretonnian characters, both lords and heroes, which would allow me to put most of the 232 in there, because I love you guys and I'm so grateful you've been along for the ride with me and for spreading it around, because every time I get that new little ding on the edge there, it's more joy than I can possibly explain without going to a Japanese schoolgirl type squee. And yes, I know it's a stereotype, but it's all I got right now. But I'm incredibly grateful for all the support you guys have given me over the last year, essentially, towards building this up. And I've hung out with a lot of you. I've met a ton of you in different games. You guys are all fantastic. I'm going to try to be a little bit more active on the Discord server and start doing a lot more. It's just been a wild ride, all things considered, and I cannot explain the feeling that I have when I'm talking about this sort of stuff. I'm pretty giddy, and usually I'm not a touchy-feely sort of guy, to which my siblings will vouch. It's more of a punchy sort of thing. And then they hit me back because they're all bigger than me. But regardless, it's been a lot of fun so far, and I hope that we get a lot more members of the 232 as we go, because, hey, gamers are awesome. And hopefully the longer episode as we push towards the final ritual will be worth the 1 day extra wait. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got really sidetracked celebrating with the old man. Watching him have one or two too many drinks and generally being a goof. Alright, so this could prove to be a very tough fight. And it's Phoenix, so we gotta go in and fight this one out. I don't even think there's a garrison here. So this is a possibility to lose, but even if we lose here, sorry Phoenix, but you'd be a sacrifice for the greater good, because then Chaplain can come in with his veterans and just walk all over these rats. 24 is not something I'm going to gamble on, though. Alright, so let's see. You have a pretty stock standard infantry list. A lot of them are veteran, though, which is great. Some great eagles, some bows. You got Rana there, too. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up on this hill. Swap those over. Put our archers in here. Man, that fly is driving me nuts. Like, I'm actually starting to get twitchy here. It's not cool. So Phoenix, we're going to put you up here. You're on a dragon, so there's a lot you can do to have fun. The Great Eagles we're going to use to go in and harass their Plague Claws. Just alter the camera a little bit. Start, and then we'll immediately pause. So I need to see exactly what we're dealing with. So Phoenix, it's those rat ogres that are going to be a problem, I think. And we're not even seeing all of the Skaven forces. Pretty sure some of them have hidden deployment. And there's a ton more of their gutter runners.
As you say. For order.
Right now it's about knocking out the bigger pieces of everything. It looks like our Illyrian archers are getting pretty tooled.
Prince of Ulthuan. Asur Prince.
Phoenix is winning so far. Our Great Eagles are doing okay. More importantly, I think they did knock out the catapults though, so we can pull them up and send them after something a little bit softer.
Lawmaster of Thorium. Ever vigilant. Lawmaster.
Rana, let's see if we can get you to hit Phoenix with Earthblood.
Ready and eager. At once. Now, right away. Advance. Spearman. He will obey. Prince of Ulthuan. Following orders. Speak quickly.
It's not looking too great. But like I said, Phoenix, if we have to sacrifice you, I'm sorry, buddy, but
Attack! Lawmaster of Thorium. At your command. Orders understood. Asur, withdraw! Prince of Ulthuan.
right now I'm essentially praying that we can outfight them long enough. Looks like their Plague Claws are back in action. Right now it's just about causing as much damage before we go down as possible.
Pull back! Your whip! Draw back! Pull back!
Yeah, sorry Phoenix buddy, it looks like you're going down in a blaze of glory.
Pull back!
She caused a fair amount of damage, and that's the key. I think he had Immortal anyway. So Phoenix will be back. Hopefully. It's not like he weren't outnumbered 3-1. Oh, he was killed in battle, not just wounded. Sorry, buddy. That's the way it goes sometimes. I think they're out of reinforcement range. And if they are, well, we can use that to our advantage. And if he's still in march stance, should be good.
Poet grants me
I have to see how this is going to go. We got a few minutes left. Well, rip Phoenix.
I serve the Phoenix King.
Well, it wasn't actually Fady herself, but Senina that leveled up.
True Asur.
Now, Senina we can't lose, because she's, well, immortal. And has a lot of really cool spells. So we'll give her the last rank at Hand of Glory.
Can I offer assistance?
And would you look at that? They are out of reinforcement range of one another. So, Fady, if we put you into normal stance, send you here, and then send the good chaplain. Why did he go all the way around?
Guardian of the
That makes no
Phoenix Crown.
sense.
I will do my duty.
Alright, well I guess we'll do it with Vincat.
Making my way.
Your command?
Vincat, we need you in reinforcement range. There we
I
go.
serve the Phoenix King. Their deaths are necessary.
So this will be a little bit tighter than if Chaplain would have been
Rally
involved.
to me, Asur.
But that's alright. Still got a few minutes left. Probably be the last battle for this week, but then we've got a lot more fights to go on over the course of the next few, and we should be good. And of course our treasury's not hurting now that one of our big badass commanders is out of action. You know what, we'll start deployment on that. Now, they're going to be all down in there, so if we can hold this hill, we've fought on this map a couple of times,
As you say.
always hold this hill, because it turns out it's a great place to make a defensive stand. Send our great eagles down the flank. Fady will put you right at the crest, and Senina in the center.
It shall be done.
Lothern Sea Guard and archers.
Restoring order. Move. To war. We will obey.
And there's those dang plague claws. Send our great eagles over to deal with them. Now these are veterans all coming from the war in Nagarond. So they're significantly more impressive than other forces that we've just raised. Just got to make sure that they're organized properly so that when they get up to the combat line, all is well. Let's actually send that dragon down the flank, along with those Illyrian Reavers. And there's their Doom Wheel. And they should start getting within range of our bolt throwers here pretty quick. And yes, I am totally willing to sacrifice eagles to take out artillery. It's how I've pretty much done everything when it comes to artillery. We'll have that Star Dragon go breathe on those rats. Bring our Illyrians in behind, see what kind of damage they can do. Now, the Skaven do have the advantage of being in cover right now, but that's not going to last them that long. I think we wiped out their Plague Claws. Nope, there it is. Alright, let's just pause quickly here. Bring our spearmen up to that rise. And this set of archers right behind them. This unit of spearmen we'll bring here. This Lothern Sea Guard unit behind it. I don't like the angle of that. Let's try to face them a little bit better. There we go. That'll work. Bring these archers up to the top of the hill. Now the Murder Everything unit, we'll get them to come down here. That should be it. Vincat, you can go there. Fady will get you up in the center, and Senina out on the left flank. So once we get you guys starting to throw down with all of this, it'll be awesome.
Prince of Ulthuan.
Alright, it's probably not a good idea to charge your prince out there on his own.
To battle! Asur, withdraw!
Princess of Ulthuan.
Draw back!
For Ulthuan.
Come on, Fady. Do your thing. The Illyrian Reavers right now are kind of doing their thing. Let's actually bring you up a little bit further. Now the Illyrians did exactly what we wanted them to do. Just cause a bunch of panic in their back ranks. The Great Eagles are just straight up doing work right now. Like, go Eagle, go Eagle, go. It's Lord of the Rings style here. The Eagles solve all the problems. Now that our archers are actually getting in range,
Yes.
actually move these 2 units of spearmen up.
Swiftly! Northern Seagull!
Lothern Seaguard out behind them, and their archers behind them, so we can link up the whole front line, and we should be able to see down in the valley.
Scython, hear me. Ulthuan mage. Lakoi, Soraya.
It looks like the Illyrians are gone and the Eagles are finally retreating. But they did what was needed. Dragon, breathe. And now charge in. As long as you keep those guys busy, I'm happy.
Mage. At once. Winds of magic rise.
Northern Seaguard!
Let's get you guys to go melee and take care of that doom wheel. It's looking a lot better than I thought it would.
Effua, bend to my will.
Is that doom wheel still up? There it goes. Let's take you guys out of melee mode and set you back to shooting. And that dragon can come back now and go after the Plague Claw. That's right, Lothern Seaguard. Just start laying into them. And then, like, seeing a whole bunch of ratkin all pin-cushioned. Yes, yes, you really should run, flee, little rat man, because otherwise the elves are going to eat you. They won't be able to outshoot us, so... I don't remember if they were in march stance or not, so we're going to try and eliminate as many of these rodents as we can. Let's use the monsters to take on their leader.
Prince of Ulthuan!
Actually, you know what? Let's just call it there, because probably not a good idea to expend any more lives than we have to right now. I mean, that was painful for them. They shouldn't be a threat to anyone anymore, so
Victory for the Asur.
that out of the way, we should be good.
Treading lightly. Lady of the Phoenix Court.
Fady can't move anymore, but we want to make sure her and Vincat are close together. Give Vincat another rank hard to hit, and let's see what he's rocking. White sword, gambler's armor. He's actually rocking some pretty good gear right now, so we're going to leave him like that. And Fady, give you another rank of Deadeye. Actually, wait a second. Elven Steed. Big reason for that.
How can I assist you?
Now, Chaplain, if we put you in a march stance, you can't get to the shore. If you fight them on water, hopefully you live through it. I think you're at the point where you've got immortality, so not too worried.
Princess of the Asur.
Alright, so the Shrine of Azuran has a decent okay garrison. I don't think it can handle this, but
Lady of Ulthuan.
that's okay. We're going to have Sunshine come down and be bait down here. We're still making a lot of gold now, which is fine.
Servant of the king.
I wonder if I can actually get into combat with him. I think he's just slightly out of range. Sucks. What I can do,
Servant of the king.
guarantee
Beginning my journey.
that he cannot get through there and is forced to either go back around or whatever. And it looks like Sheena Yang gained a level, so we're going to grab her another rank in Deadeye. That'll be that for there. Don't want to upgrade any settlements right now. But that is probably a good place to call it for this week, guys. Again, this is the 100th episode that's gone up, so thank you all so much for being with me on this journey. It's been a lot of fun, and it's only going to get better from here. So if you did like the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, just hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. And remember guys, life is a game, so play to win, and until next time, take care.